Today, we're here to talk about why I sold my Canon R3. Welcome back to You Are My Sunshine, where Paul Rudd is always just under this layer of video. So we're going to be using the Canon AE-1 microphone. I'm here today to talk to you about why I sold my Canon R3, or why it's being sold. It's currently on consignment at BJ Photo, Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. If you want to come through and buy it, it could be yours. We've all known the Canon R3 for me was overkill from the very start. I did not hide this fact. I talked a lot about this fact. I told you not to buy one if you are a wedding photographer. My friend Sam Hurd uses two of them, and now I don't. I do still have the Canon R6 that you're seeing this filmed on, though. I still think that's a great solution for wedding photography. It is a little bit clunky when it comes to photo-video coverage on a wedding day because you got to move the dial. You can set your C3 to manual photo settings, and you just click over to the video setting, and that's the best way to go about it to get manual video controls. Or you can Canon R5 if you want, but then you have so many megapixels. It is true that no one has made the perfect camera. Now you might be wondering, what did I replace my Canon R3 with? And it's not one of these cameras. Let me show you what it is. The camera that I've replaced it with is this Fujifilm BYNU N16. And as you can see on the front of the camera, there are 16 lenses, and it has 16 frames. When you hit the golf ball button on the top, there's a golf ball button up here, and this is what it does. There's a picture of a golfer on the front, so it captures your golf swing, is what that does. 16 frames a second, not a second, maybe 3 seconds. What's the time on this? Let's call it 16 frames in 1.89 seconds, and it goes on 35 millimeter film. So I obviously haven't replaced my R3 with this, but it's a fun camera. It's more fun than I expected it to be. Just a quick note, the monthly membership option over on the members website is disappearing in November. So if you want to be part of the monthly plan, you can be. You get to keep that for as long as you want. But after Black Friday, it's basically going to turn into you have to sign up for the annual. So if you want to stay on monthly, get in now. There is a full workshop that will be going up online there. We're filming it in Portugal in October, and it'll be up shortly thereafter. And it will be a full-length workshop as well. So if you want to, basically, it's instead of doing a day of workshop and spending the money to come and fly and be somewhere, you can just experience all that from the comfort of your home. So get in before Black Friday. Black Friday just goes to annual, which is, I guess, technically a much better deal. So you can do that if you want now. So let's start with why I got the Canon R3. It's because the Canon R6 hybrid coverage is a little bit challenging. So I got the R3. The R3 is also better in low light. There's no debating that. What I immediately didn't love is the full-size gripped body of the Canon R3. You might like that. You might put a grip on your other bodies. I don't know. I personally don't like it. I don't like to travel with it. I find that it packs into things awkwardly, and I prefer camera size like this Canon AE-1. I like to keep my kit small, which also means my lens is small, and there's a video on the channel about the lenses and the ecosystem of Canon right now, which is a bit of a troublesome place. I'm not selling it because of that. I'm selling it because it's just no longer the correct tool for me. Quite honestly, though, overall, the Canon R3 for my needs was too expensive and came with way too many features that I do not use. I don't need that. Whatever the 100 plus raw frames per second, I don't use that. I'm a wedding photographer. I'm good with 5 frames a second. That sounds nice. So basically at this point I found a better tool for my needs, and it is of course the Fuji BYU N16 golf camera. It's actually the Sony A7 IV that I've been using, and if you put V90 cards in it, there's really no buffer. There still is a marginal buffer, but I suspect it's pretty close to the same as what the R3 or my Canon R6 would be. And I'm able to do photo video coverage very easily. One of the other challenges for me, at least anxiety-wise, is that when you do hit the button, so the Canon R3, when you hit the back button and you're in photo mode, you go into your manual video mode, or you can set whatever it is to C3 and you can do manual video. However, at least in my experience, up until the point of recording this video, you couldn't actually see the video settings it was recording. And there have been some times that I've had some interesting results with the camera that maybe didn't do exactly what I was expecting. And I want to be able to see and verify that I still am shooting at 60 frames a second, because that is very, very important to my wedding videos. On the Sony A7 IV, it just shows me you hit the one button, you're in photo mode, you hit the record button, and you know exactly what you're doing. Another huge advantage to the A7 IV and the Sony ecosystem is the fact that the Tamron 35 to 150 f2 to f2.8 exists. I've made a video on this lens. I'll make more videos on this lens over the the future here because it really is an incredible tool that fits exactly what I want to do on a wedding day. I am typically a prime shooter, and that means I'm shooting most of my lenses at f1.4, 1.8, and the 35 to 150 begins at f2. It's a variable aperture and goes up to f2.8. But from my experience, all of the photos feel very, very, very nice to the point that they could have been shot with a prime lens. I shot the 35 Tamron and the 85 Tamron 1.8s for years, and I love that look and feel to them, and I feel like I get the same look and feel from those primes as I do across the entire board from 35 to 150. For a ceremony lens, it's amazing. It's a little bit heavy, but it really is something that makes my video workflow, my photography workflow so much easier. It's a larger lens. Again, I don't love larger lenses, but when it is my only large lens in the bag, I'm kind of okay with that, and also for just the maximum versatility that it gives me, I just really, really enjoy the experience. So I have a 35 1.4 prime that I use usually for the getting ready section of the day, and then I transition to the 35 to 150 at the ceremony, and typically stay on it until it gets really dark. So have a lens you can flip to at that point in the day, but you can get by with it in darker lighting conditions as long as you light it properly. But I wouldn't be really pushing past like 16,000 ISO on it, or you will start to see some weirdness in the frames. So what the Canon R3 was for me was my hybrid camera, my photo video camera, and now that has transitioned to the Sony a7 IV and specifically to the Tamron 35 to 150 millimeter f2 to f2.8 lens. So the Canon R3 to me was my hybrid camera. It made my hybrid coverage the easiest. Now moving into a different ecosystem, I have access to that lens that just doesn't exist for the Canon side of things, and it does make my life a lot easier. It makes my work better overall. It gives me more variety for my couples, and it really is just a better overall tool for exactly what I do. And I think that's all camera reviews are, that find the tool that works the best for you and go forth and create the things that you want to exist in the world. That's all for today. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Until then, we'll just be photographing on my golf camera. I'm very excited about this. This will be a full episode from the film photography road trip coming up soon with John Branch and Manny Ortiz together in one video. Oh my gosh, I know. And that's my story for today. Off to Iceland for a workshop next week, then Hawaii for a workshop in May. You can sign up for that. There's a link in the description. It's going to be really good. It's essentially just a portfolio building workshop. So if you want to come to Hawaii, shoot some photos with my wife, Lindsay, and myself, come and do that. There are some early bird tickets available. However, there might be literally one or two left at this point. I'm not sure. But our Banff workshop was an amazing success. I'm so happy with how everything went. Everything worked out so lovely, especially the weather. We were so nervous with the weather that we're doing a physical thing here outside, and it just all came together so well, and it rained for about 5 minutes one of the days. That's all for me. See you again on another time.